What are the top 5 reasons your VAWA petition can be denied or delayed? So what are the top 5 reasons that your VAWA petition can be denied or delayed? First, one of the main reasons is hiring a paralegal, a notary, someone who is not an attorney to represent you in your VAWA application. This results sometimes in an incomplete application being submitted, key pieces of evidence missing, so it can really delay your application if the person is not an attorney who understands the requirements in a VAWA petition, who doesn't have the resources to check what the requirements are and stay up to date on changes in VAWA. So that's one of the main reasons, and I have clients that come to me after they've already hired a notary, or if they've hired a paralegal, they come to us afterwards to take over the case. And unfortunately, it creates a lot more work for our firm, and unfortunately a delay for the client because it just wasn't handled properly in the beginning. So to make sure your case is as strong as possible, as efficient as possible, I would highly suggest, in a VAWA petition, to hire a lawyer and to work with an attorney or a law firm that is experienced in VAWA applications, so you can prepare the strongest one possible for you, and that it's done in an efficient and timely manner. Okay. Number 2, incorrect forms. So some folks send in incorrect forms, like change of status, extension of status, when that's not required. Sometimes they send in forms that they do not qualify for, right? So for example, there are certain green cards you have to have a legal entry to enter the US. And sometimes they have to consular process, but they send in something called an adjustment of status form. Immigration is really hard to understand, and you may not send in all of the correct forms. For VAWA applications, many forget that they might actually have the benefit of also applying for a green card and also applying for travel authorization and work authorization. So there are different forms that are involved, lots of evidence. It's usually a pretty thick packet and needs to be very detailed, and everything needs to be consistent. And filing the wrong information is a great way to get your case delayed or denied for a VAWA petition. Again, use an attorney. It will really, really save you the time in the future, and it's a great investment for your green card, which is worth everything. Not submitting proof of good moral character. That's number 3. Number 3 of the top most reasons that VAWA self-petitions can get delayed or denied is not submitting proof of good moral character. So our firm always includes a report showing that perhaps any kind of criminal issues have been dealt with already or dismissed, or that there are no criminal charges or arrests on this person's record. That's one way of showing good moral character. So we use that, we use tax returns, and we show overall that this person is someone of good moral character. So that's something you want to look into. You want to know what's on your record, and you want to be able to show good moral character, because that is one of the requirements for a VAWA self-petition. Not submitting proof of a bona fide marriage. Okay, not submitting proof of a bona fide marriage. So essentially, not submitting proof of a bona fide marriage, you need to show that it's a real marriage and it's not just for immigration purposes. So whenever you're applying for VAWA, you definitely have to show that the marriage itself is a real marriage. It's not a fraudulent marriage. Okay, if you are entered into a fraudulent marriage, you do not qualify for VAWA. I want to make that very, very clear. So that is another, I guess we're on number 4. That is another, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that is another reason for denial or delay. So again, let me give you a recap of the top 5 reasons for VAWA delays or denial. Number 1, not hiring an attorney, using someone who's not qualified or who's not knowledgeable about VAWA requirements, like a paralegal or a notario, to do your VAWA application. Number 2, incorrect forms, right? Incorrect forms, not having the correct forms, not taking advantage of benefits like work authorization, travel authorization, or even applying for a green card when you are eligible. So many clients will miss out on key benefits of perhaps qualifying for a VAWA self-petition, and that could include a green card, social security number, work authorization, and travel authorization. Number 3, submitting inaccurate information on the forms, right? So submitting things that are not consistent with previously filed applications and failing to provide an explanation of why it is inconsistent, right? Maybe you made a mistake before, maybe you are making a mistake this time and you catch that and you can correct that. But having inconsistent information is something that is essentially asking for a request for evidence from the government, and they are unlikely to approve your application unless you can explain the reason for the inconsistency in any of the applications you previously filed with USCIS or any other agency that adjudicates immigration applications. All right, number 4, not submitting proof of good moral character and not submitting enough proof of a bona fide marriage. Okay, I hope all of this is helpful to you guys. If you have questions, reach out to us. You can call us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663.